How many of you remember this?
The system, TCR. Total Control Racing. Slotless racing with the jam car passing on the right or the left. Watch it again. This year, we've added van and truck sets. And for the ultimate challenge, there's the TCR 2+2 Dual Jam Car Special. And there's also the lighted Blazer Speedway with headlights for day and night racing. This is the system, TCR. Total Control Racing from Ideal.
Now, if like me, you're of a certain age, you'll probably remember the adverts on the TV around Christmas time of TCR. So here is a really good example of one of the first TCR boxes, if you like, that I remember. If you look at this, it looks, for a kid back in the 70s, it looks amazing. One thing to remember is at this time, TCR was directly competing against Hornby and Scalextric, the slot car racing system, and they used their USP of the slotless track with real overtaking. To be honest, back in those days, I think it was more like 1977, 78-ish. But to have a slotless system where the cars actually overtake was unheard of back in those days. The box art, the box colours, the advertising on television pretty much sold this to many, many children around the country. From an adult's perspective now, I still think the box art looks amazing. You know, the car, they're not real Formula 1 cars, are they? They're just generic open wheel type racing cars. They're not supposed to be anything in particular, but they are based on the Formula 1 or IndyCar, whatever it was around at the time, because it is primarily from the States that TCR, I say took off, it kind of didn't. We'll perhaps go into that as well a little bit later. But that alone would sell it to a child of sort of 6, 7 or 8 years old at the time to have independently controlled, so to speak, cars on a track which you can overtake other cars. Not only that, in this kit you can see 3 cars lane changing and what they call a jam car, which was effectively a drone car, if you like, which allowed the other 2 cars, or even one on your own, to overtake other vehicles, which was way ahead of Scalextric at the time. I mean, they've only, I say recently, in the last 20 years. Oh my god, how does time get away with me like that? But anyway, TCR and way ahead of Scalextric at that particular time. Here's another box art of something which I remember as a child, and this is actually on the advert. It's the trucks racing American rigs, if you like. Again, this is something which in America would have took off really, really well. There were similar the kits like this in the UK, of course. And again, I've got this jam truck raceway, which is excellent. So here's another one. I didn't even know this existed. Had I done back in the day, this would have been one I probably would have gone for, being it as a sort of like a dirt modified type of layout. Now, you're probably wondering where this is going. And here it is. So I took it upon myself to relive the 1970s, for a bit anyway. So I bought myself this particular edition. I kept saying kit. Well, it is a kit. You've got to put it together, haven't you? So, but this particular edition, lighted jam car speedway. Again, got 3 cars, as you can see. It's quite a nice little layout. It came from the proverbial eBay. And as we know, eBay is not usually the best platform to buy things from. However, you do get some gems, and I think this is one of them. It's hard. Well, it hasn't been used. It's literally boxed, in someone's loft since the 70s. Now I've got the box behind me, so I will show you some bits and pieces on it, and we'll unlock some 1970s goodness slash deterioration. So before we actually look into this kit, I'd like to compare the selling point of these Scalextrics model motor racing genre. So, great box art, great advert. It makes you want to go and buy. Well, you couldn't as a kid. Maybe you could. Who knows? But it made you want one of these and ask for Christmas or birthday. You wanted one of these. Here is a good example of advertising. Now, back in the day, not quite as early as TCR, but back in the day, and still to this day, being a gamer is something I like to do in my other spare time. So I was lucky enough to be bought for Christmas one year a Spectrum 128 Plus. And amongst the many, many games that I had, this was one of them. Now, I used to go into a local bookshop, or it wasn't really a bookshop, what was it? Like a newsagents, if you like, in my local town. And they had every time they had a new selection of these cheaper part of the market, like cassette tape type of size boxes, cassettes. Like, I don't know how much it could be, like $1.99 or whatever, but the box art, comparing it to the game, was a little bit like the TCR in my opinion. So when you look at this, super stuntman, you got a couple of cars on there, looks like a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. Codemasters, back in the day, even today, a very reputable software house. And that picture there, super stuntman, that sold it for me. And then you get this as an opening screen. Oh my god. Even back then, I mean, this game came out in 1987, but that was a bit of a disappointment. But the game must be better, surely. No. A top-down sort of GTA style view, but this is nowhere near as good as GTA. I mean, I did play it. I mean, you've got to remember 1987. What do you expect to happen? But yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment. But, what do I know at 17, 18 years old? After all, it was the 80s, and the 80s are a good year. So, okay, back on topic. Where are we going with this? Box art advertising draws you in, and then you get the product. Is it as good as what you're led to believe? I suppose that's what advertising is to entice you in to spend your money to buy the product. That's, by design, they're doing their job. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get to the box. We're going to open the box. We'll see what's inside. Where I can, we'll have a few close-up shots of these slotless racing cars. Plug, and here's the power pack. The original power pack for the TCR without a plug, and it's only got two on it, two wires, but it is for a UK plug. So it says that the power pack is not a toy, and it's recommended that an adult attaches a suitable plug with a 3-amp fuse. Oh well, I can't do that then, can I? The mains input lead is thicker of the two leads and should be connected as per the diagram below. So brown wire and blue wire. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. That's the plug on there. Keep looking at the screen, so I'm looking away from it, but anyway, that's on. So I'm going to move that just to one side. When I started out here today, it was like -4. We've got 2 heaters on, and it's currently 18 degrees. Right, so I think I spoke about deterioration. Now in here, there's a couple of black hard bits of rubber. Can you see that? That was a tyre. So those ones, there's 2 here which are quite soft, and there's that one which is fairly hard. Now, I took it upon myself to buy a pack of new tyres, which you can see here. Nice and soft and supple. So we're going to change the tyres on these cars. I'll just show you one of these for now. So this one's a Pantera. You can see that putting my big hand in the way, but let's try it like that. See that? So that's the Pantera. I think there's another one here, yeah, so there's another Pantera. So these are 2 of the 3 cars. So they're not to scale, but you can see here where this, well, both these rear tyres, can you see that? Absolutely, well, they're split, but they've been, I don't know how they are, 40 years I think. And this one, this is the Jam car, and this is supposed to be a Lancia Stratos. Again, I think, I'm not sure how old these are. They're split, so you can see that on that tyre there, the bottom one. Now, to get these tyres off, I think, I don't know how well they're going to be stuck on there. So there's 6 tyres to change. What I might use is that. Right, let's see. Let's see it here now. Let's see if we can get some of these off. I don't know whether to take the. I think I might take this body shell off actually, because it'd be a lot easier. I've taken these off already, so these should come out quite nice and easy now. If you haven't seen the inside of one of these, they're very primitive. So it's just like the end sort of moves side to side depending on which wheel turns to what lane you're going to be in. So you can see there, look, that's, hopefully you can see that, it's a bit split. So let's try and get these off. They just break away. So it's just a case of putting the tyre back on. So we shall see. Have I bought the right ones? I think so. These are fairly standard sizes. And there you have it. A bit grimy, but there you go. One that's been done, one that hasn't. So that's the old tyre, that's the new one. Perfect. So I'm gonna do the other 2 cars and then I'll be back. I'll just show you this one. That's done. I put a bit of oil on the axles. You can't see it here, but it runs really smoothly now.
the other two, you might even hear that, are quite tight. So yeah, I've also got spare, these come with like LEDs. I'm not sure if they work, so I've got another pack here just in case. Okay, good, nice and easy. The other two are all done. Went to go, just putting the tyres on them. It looks, clean up, a little bit of oil. Maybe that's got tyres on as well now. That's all good. And Stratos. Okay, so, and they all run really smooth. So you can see this here is a pile of black hard rubber. That's the tyres all done. They've come off really easy. And these, let me just move that to one side a minute. So this is, they must move. Where can you see it? There you go. Just trying to move some of the grill. I've just cleaned them all up now, but so you can see they move nice and easy. That's good. I think this one there, really smooth. Just put them sort of where you can see them, I guess. This one's got a slightly different mechanism inside. It's got three sort of prongs, if you like. This is the jam car. This is the one that goes around on its own when you squeeze the trigger, whoever squeezes the trigger. And I think it does change lanes itself. I don't know, could be wrong. Or it changes lanes when you change lanes with these ones. Where's the camera? I've got to remember opposites now. So that's done. The power pack, that's done. So you can see, well, you can't see it. That's all done. Cars, which down here, tyres done. I've got the rest of the spares here. More springs, tyres if I need them. And you can see there the actual lighted jam car speedway. So the next, we'll do this in two parts. The next episode, we'll put it together, excuse me, and see if it works. If you just want to know now, it's 23 degrees. Lovely. So yeah, very successful. It's all original as well. I mean, this is the original sort of manual that you get with it. I don't know if it's got a date on here. I'm not sure. I can't see a date, but it comes from Wokingham, which isn't that far from where I live. It's not a million miles away. Yeah, I can't see any dates on here, if I'm honest. Not on this bit. But no, it's got to be late 70s, 80s, isn't it? It's not the original one, as in it wasn't the first edition to come out. But even so, it's quite nice to get something with originality. So what I'm going to do now is pack it all back up in the box, and in part two we'll get it all clipped together so that we can see if it runs. Like blowing myself up. And the power pack is here. Now they had a problem with these power packs, as in they only really put out, so it's got 17, can't read that, 0.2 volts. It's the amperage that was the problem. Yeah, 240 volt, so it is alright for the UK, but they apparently didn't put out enough, so to run all three cars on the track was a bit of a piss poor idea. Apparently it didn't work, but we won't know, will we? So if you want to see the cars run, We can probably do it in night time as well. See if the lights work. Stick around for the next episode. Just be 2 episodes. Follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified if you want to see these guys run around that track. Should be quite interesting. 1970s childhood in 2025. So I'll catch up with you for part 2 very soon. Thanks a lot and see you later.